Hello and welcome to our Wednesday evening YouTube live, except it's not live today, just a recording for you, but equally as yummy, I'm sure. So all the bits and pieces that are here are available over on maximumcraft.com website, and I thought I'd do a little fancy fold for you today. I haven't done one of those for ages, so I'm going to do a little fold which I understand is called a tent easel card. It's quite a small card, but with a lot of impact. And I'm going to be using the Julie Hickey Floral Fancies stamp set. Not a new one, been around for a while. Many of you will have it, or something similar, I'm sure. And it's got a matching Floral Fancy die set, some of which I've already got out here. So that is the stamp and the die set that I'm going to be using. I'm going to be using also the smallest die from a set, again not a new one. It's good to use the stuff you've already got in your stash, and that is from the vintage vintage squares from Spellbinders, which is like ages old, and again many of you have got it. An ordinary square would be quite suffice instead, but I think this one's got quite a nice pattern with it. I shall be using some card which is a hunky-dory, adorable scoreable, and that is in aqua. So it's really quite a nice, actually it just sort of kind of blends in with my background here because it's very, very similar. Actually it doesn't show up all that well, what the colour is there. But it's a lovely, very lovely aqua, very pale aqua colour. I've also got some pens. These are Graphmaster pens. They are in pale green, which is that one. They are in barium yellow. Gosh, the writing's so tiny. Barium yellow, and they are also in turquoise green light. So I'm keeping a colour scheme going along here along the same lines. And I'm also using a paper pad, again from the Works, which is called, because I know you're going to want to know that. I'll tell you what it's called in just a second, because I don't know what I've done with it. Here we go. Fresh Feelings. Oh, blimey. There you go. Fresh Feelings. So there's all the bits and pieces. Let us get on with our Fresh Feelings. I'm going to put those to one side for the minute. And first of all, I'm going to make my card base. So I'm going to take my A4 size card, and I'm going to cut it. I'll turn it that way so that you can see it quite clearly. Zoom out a little bit so that you can really see it clearly. And I'm going to put in the short edge on my cutter, and I'm going to cut that at, I'm going to do it in inches, 4.5 inches across. Then, with my cutting blade right at the top and out of the way, I can then bring in my score blade for this. And I'm going to put this now in at the long edge and move my piece along so that it is at 4.5 again, and score that, and then move it along so that my edge comes right down here to 9 inches, and score that again. And that's it. That's it for that part of the thing. I'm going to take my score tool because it's really important that we get these very, very crisp angles. So I'm going to go along here 2 or 3 times to very much so burnish that edge. And then with this one, again, I'm folding that in. And that's one of the reasons why I chose the Adorable Scoreable, because of the fact that it does fold and crease without, I'm sure we've had it before, you crease these lines and you've got all the cracking, and we didn't want that. So that's my card base, and now we need to do our stamping and then a little bit of cutting out, and we'll see how we go. So that's our card base. Pop that to one side. So as I said, I'm going to be using the Floral Fancies, or some of the Floral Fancies, and I've already chosen the ones I'm going to use, which is this flower with the leaves on their own, and then this little small flower. I've popped them already onto my board, and I'm going to my stamping platform, and I'm going to take a piece of white smooth card, and I'm going to take Memento black ink. I like it to pop, so I'm going to use the black ink. I'm going to ink these up and then stamp them out. Now I have already done a couple already, or one of these I should say already, so I'm not going to bore you with doing 2 lots, but that is the first lot. So if you can see, we've got a nice array of those 4 elements. So let's colour them. Let's colour them using the colours that, I'll bring you in a second. Let's colour them using the colours that we were saying about just now. First of all, I'm going to take this one, which is the turquoise green light. Got 2 ends, chisel and bullet, and I'm going to colour, the main pieces first. So I'm going to lay down one colour, and I'm not going to go over these pieces at the ends. I'm just going to keep that as one colour, and then where we've got the dark points in the middle, I'm going to use that as my shading. We could use any colour, but this is sort of, all these colours are along the same lines as my card itself, and so therefore it also goes with the papers. In a minute you'll see. So I picked those to match in. So I'm just going over, again, nothing rocket science here, I'm not purporting to be a colourist in any shape or form, but just enjoying it. So just going around the outline. So the dies that match with it will give you a little white outline all the way, or if you don't like a white outline, you could of course cut these out a little bit more fussy, what they call fussy cutting, and then you could do it like that. So I'm then going to go round this one and colour all the flowers in the same. So just, and then I'm not going to colour that middle bit or those little, if I can help it, those little stamens that are in the middle. So I'm just being a bit fussy with those. Just filling that in. And then finally I shall do my small one over the other side. So let's just go around there, and then this little one, and that one will be coloured in its entirety in my turquoise green yellow, or green light, or whatever it was called. So that's my turquoise. Then I'm going to bring in my barium yellow. I don't like the sound of that, to be honest with you. And it's going to go into the centre of that one, and then of course into these little dots here, and then just on the edges, just so that it picks up those colours. And then finally, with my pale green, just going to do these leaves. So again, in a second I'll show you the papers, and I think you'll agree that I've chosen the colours just merely to match those that are within the papers that I've chosen. And that's often the way that I do it. Pick the papers, then pick the card. Especially if we've got papers that are going to be a main focal point. But I think these work out quite well together. So that's my colouring done. If I bring in the piece of paper I'm talking about, this is that. And I think you'll see that those colours do go quite nicely with it. So now let's take our dies. Bring in our sheet here again. You do need to space them a little bit apart, and there is an absolute right way of these to go and an absolute wrong. That looks all right to me. So once I'm happy with that, I'll tape that into place. Then I like this one in particular, this corner one. These also now come already cut out for you in the foilables, so that you can take them, colour them in like I have done, and you can actually then foil the outside. So that's quite nice, a bit different as well. Finally, this little tiddly one, which goes down there. I'll run that through my machine. Just a second, you'll be able to pop these out. You can see that they've got that little white border all the way around, which of course you could fill in. If you're not a white border sort of a person, you could always just fill those pieces in if you preferred. So I'm going to pop them to one side as well, and now let's make up our card with some extra pieces. So first of all, this is our card front, and I have cut 2 pieces of paper from my, what do we call it? Fresh Feelings pad. And these pieces are 4 1/4 inch by 4 1/4 inch. One is going to go onto the front there, so let's pop that into place. It's a really simple card to do up. And they're all double-sided, so you've got that side. Oh, do you know, I'm tempted now. What do you think? Do you know, I'm tempted. I'm going to put this one inside. I'm going to open it up because I'm changed my mind. Lastminute.com. Here we go again. That one's going to go inside. That one I rather like. And that one's going to go that way. So it's the same colour, the same colour palette. There's just a little bit of white in there. I think that looks quite nice. So I'm going to pop that in there. I'm onto something that's slightly shiny there, so I'm just going to give it a chance to grab hold. And then opening it up again, I've cut a piece here which is 4 1/4 by 2 1/2, I think. So let me just check what that is. 4 1/4 by 2 1/2. So that's just to fit in on this piece here. So inside again. I'm not going to put that in there because all of those lovely seashells and sea creatures are really not in the keeping, are they? But that piece is. Okay. Now then, on my front of my card, I've cut out my little vintage labels, and I'm going to put on that. I've stamped that out with a couple of sentiments that I had. They were just in my stash. I can't possibly. They were given to me for some design work, actually, for an American company some years ago now. So I know that they're no longer available, and they never were here because it was all for design work in America. So yeah, we haven't got those. But I thought I put both 2 together. Happy anniversary with lots of love. So I'm going to pop that into the middle there. And then I'm going to take one of my flowers and pop that just about, I'm not sure which corner to go for. Maybe that corner might be quite nice. Pop a little bit of foam behind it. And I think you'll agree that these colours that I've coloured at, because they're in the same sort of family, they then make it pop somewhat more, which I think looks really lovely. I'm going to open it up, and then I'm going to take that combination down here, but I'm going to keep that flat. I'm not actually going to put foam on that because we want the whole thing to be flat. Should have put the flowers on first, really, shouldn't I? Oh, I can't get hold of it. Not flowers, the leaves. goes behind there. So that's my inside bit. Then I've got a little slither of white. Now that piece is about 3/4 of an inch by 2.5, and this one is just under, so it's about 7/8. Look at me with my 7/8 and things, by just about 2 1/8 or something. Again, not vitally important what that is. It's just a little slither. So I'm doing it that way round because then the white will show up more on here. I'm going to pop a little bit of foam behind it because that's going to be my stopper for my easel part. So a tent card is when it's really thin and it looks more like a tent, and an easel card is where we've got the stopper. Because normally our easel card would have a whole base, a whole same width. And I'm going to pop that down there, and then I'm going to take my little diddy one that I had and just, I think I'll put it over that side, just pop it onto that piece there. So you could, if you wish, pop another sentiment. Oh, stay. Actually, not so sure that I've got any glue on there. I think I just got a bubble. Let me just pop that there. Okay, so that's your card all done. But before, I'll just be a bit careful of where it's setting. I'm just going to go once more across here because that, as I said, is the crucial part. It fits into a 5-inch basic card base, and it fits together like that. I'll hold it like that so that you can see. That's the card front, like that. Folded down, we would fold that one up first and then this one down, and then that would go into your, as I said, 5-inch, just about, might be a little bit of a space, but that's your 5-inch thing. So a tent easel card. That is for your writing in the middle, all coordinating, and then sits itself up on the mantelpiece like that. So thank you for watching today. Any bits that you need, any bits that are still available, I should have said, because I do realise that some of them are not, pop over to the website. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I look forward to seeing you on Sunday, which is the coming Sunday, the 15th, I think. Yeah, the 15th of October, when we'll be launching our first card kit for this month. So take care till then. Thank you. Bye-bye.